Okay, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today you are getting my glasses, because I am doing an intellectual video. That was very random. Okay, I will do what I read on April, and I will admit, April wasn't a good one for me. I am back on reading, I enjoy it, but I think I am discovering what is my taste. I know what is my taste, but sometimes I try to follow trends or try to read books that I know I am I am seeing on TikTok, and it's a disease. I should not do that. I should stick to my guts and read what I know I would like. So this was the month of me realizing stuff, realizing things, you know, that kind of month. It was for me in terms of reading, also in life, but we will not talk about that. Okay? So the books that I read, most of them I listen to it because sometimes when books that I know deep in my soul that I will not like as much, I listen to them. And I had come to this realization, okay? I have realized things based on one book that I want to read real bad. Is listen to books, also reading them, and it has a discussion that has going on like a long time ago. It's a long discussion over on TikTok and YouTube, both of them. And I was I'm so sorry. I was the ones that said that sometimes, and I still agree, sometimes some books are not meant to be heard. You need to read them because otherwise most of the things will fly over your head. I'm so sorry. Some books you need to read them. You need to read them to grasp the voice, But I am not saying that you cannot have the same, I don't know. It's quite a debate, guys. It's quite a debate. So I want to read this book real bad. I will show you, and we will be back to this subject. For now, I will say that yes, I come to realization that sometimes I just have to listen to them because I don't have the time. Sometimes I read too slow and I want to do things more. Either way, you are reading stuff, and that is the whole point, okay? With the books. The first one I have here it's at the bottom. Oh, is this book. It's one of my oldest books on my TBR because I bought them like 3 years ago. And I knew for the moment I bought it that I was not going to like it, but I still did it. That was my mistake. This is Happy Hour by Marlowe Granados. Marlowe, I don't know. This amazing lady over here. And this book, I did not like it. I did not like the voice. I don't like the narrators. I asked ChatGPT, my friend, to tell me more about this kind of literature that I had been seeing and is very popular right now. And I don't like that kind of books. It's this kind of unhinged woman, but they're not likable. They are not likable women. And sometimes it's okay to not like the main character. But I cannot wrap my mind around their decisions, their way they act, the way they speak, the way they say. I don't like them. I find them so hard for me to grasp that they are real women. I don't like it, and I don't I don't like it. I have beef with them. I listened to a small part of Milk Fed, and I despise it. bad for me, because this is the voice, like they degrade themselves, but they think so highly of themselves, and they think so low of other because they are so cool, they are so brilliant, but then life fucks them over. But I don't get it. I am lost for words. I don't like those type of books. This one was one of them. I read Milfed, I read The Pisces, and I read, what was the other time? Exciting Times, which I thought would like it because it's set in Hong Kong. My mistake. That was my mistake. Because I realized, and that was the same time I bought this one, and I have all this background, and I knew I would not like this one, but I still bought it, and I didn't read it for 3 years, and I decided to read them, and I was proven correct. I do not like it. I don't like it. I cannot even tell you what it is about, because it got me messed up. I don't like it. I don't like it. I am so mad. You know, the next book will also get me mad, because I bought it I believe TikTok and I believe YouTube. That was my mistake. That was mistake number 1. And I bought it. It was my first purchase on Pango, so it's recently, and it was $5, so it's okay. But oh my god, it got me so bad, and the reviews were so good. The reviews, everyone loved that. But then, because I knew there were some people like me that didn't like it, so I went on Reddit. And I found my home in those people, because they do not like it. They said that their essays are better. I might try the essays, but the fiction, never again. This is, I'm so sorry. This is Played as It Lies by Joan Didion, a novel. Like, what is this? She spoke in slurs like 3 times. And I know this book is old, but what the fuck? What was that about? And their decisions, same as the unhinged woman that I was talking before. Everyone in this book is awful. Awful. I don't like any of them. I was like, my mouth, I was like this. The whole time I was listening to it. So I have to stop, because my blood pressure cannot handle it. So I stopped. And at least the cover is pretty. And it's very pretty, but oh my god, I am feeling my blood pressure rises up. What the fuck is this? I did not like it, so I stopped. It's, for me, not a masterpiece. I can't live without reading this. It was awful. Thank you very much. And I cannot tell you what it is about, because it's some bullshit about a woman that lost his daughter, and they're feeling with grief and loss, but it's not that. It's a woman trying to be cool. Have you learned nothing, Jojo? The fuck is that? Don't like it. And the other one, the IDNF, wasn't because it was deranged woman. It wasn't that. It was because I listened to it, some parts on Audible, and the narrator is British because the author is British. And he spoke like my brother. Like, his mouth won't open all the way, and he spoke like he had something on his mouth, and the accent was making it bad. And it was awful. I cannot, because I was listening to it, but in my mind was, open your mouth, because it's like my brother. And I would say to him, open your mouth, because I cannot understand what you're trying to say. So that was my beef for this one. Also, for me, it's too much prose. It's too poetry. It's Open Water by Caleb Asuma Nelson. too much poetry. Beautiful descriptions, beautiful poetry, but I don't like poetry, so that was my mistake. I should have known better. I should have known better that this was a mistake. So nothing on him, everything on me. No unhinged woman on side, which is okay. Just a man narrated how this woman, when he first said for the first time, it was like his word was, he was having a realization that what is life, what is color, what is photography, what is too much. You just met her. Relax, okay? So that is okay. I will be back. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. My camera cut out, so I don't remember where it cut out. So I will talk about the next book that I read. I listened to it on Audible, so it was okay. It is by Emily Henry. Is People We Made on Vacation. It was 200 pages too long. I come to realize that romance shouldn't be 300 pages long. That is a crime, straight to jail. It should be 200 max, and you're pushing it. Because I love the beginning of this one, I love the end of this one, but in the middle, no. Like, I felt like 70% of this book was a filler. Like, I guess she have to talk about all the summer she spent with the love of his life and the summer that she began to realize his feelings for him. But I think it should be cut short. It's too much. It was too much. And I will say, because this is the other thing. I read this one and I was feeling so inspired, so tired, so underwhelmed, so overwhelmed by life, by everything. But by the end of this book made me feel more inspired. That is true. It made me feel more I wanted to do things. I wanted to take risks. Like, I got something from it because I got inspired reading this book. But only the end of it. Like, I had to suffer all of this number of pages just for feeling inspired by this much. Like, you know? And so I think I only have one more book by Emily Henry, and I think that will be enough for me. I don't want to read any more for her. Like, that is enough for me. Because I will say, I have read Book Lovers. That was my first book, and I did like it. But I read it so long ago that I don't remember specifically what I liked. You know, I read Bitch Read, which I didn't like. I DNF it. And this one, that is People We Read on Vacation. And all of these women are writers. They write books. They work in that industry of writing. And I think, forgive me, I think that Emily Henry recycles the characters. They are repackaged, but I feel like they are the same. I don't know. I say this with my reputation on the line, because Emily Henry fans are on another level, okay? But I feel like she just repeats the same themes over and over again, and I don't like it. I don't like it. So, yeah, that would be enough for me. Emily Henry, I had enough. I don't want any more. Oh, a birth. Okay. So, yeah. This was People We Made on Vacation. It was a love story. Like, they were best friends since college. They met in college, and she didn't realize she was in love with him until like the very end of the book. Not the very end, but she didn't realize she was in love with him for the longest time. And what I like about this one, I would say, because I didn't write, I didn't write it, so now my ideas are going off. I felt she says that, I don't know, she didn't realize he was in love with him because she didn't want to lose her sense of comfort, because falling in love with him, she will have to make a decision. And she didn't want him or her to make that decision because she lived in New York. She doesn't live in New York. She lives in her small town because he is a teacher. And she didn't want to be back in her small town. She didn't want to move from New York. She didn't want things to change until she felt bored and trapped and uninspired by her life. And that is the part that I liked, because at the time I am feeling like that. But the rest of the book, I don't know, it was so hard for me to read because I did enjoy those kind of themes, feeling uninspired, feeling trapped, feeling like you cannot do anything else. And taking chances, because this book was about her taking a chance at a new life after she had lived her dreams. So I don't know. I quite like those themes, but the rest of the book, throw it away, please. I don't like it. But it made me feel inspired in that aspect of life. But that is all. So yeah, those are the 4 books that I tried to read on April. Also, I have 3 books here that I am currently reading. I began reading on April, and I will pass them to May because I haven't finished that. And I will say these are the best books. I don't know why I didn't begin with these ones, but it's okay. Mayhaps happens, okay? So the first one that I have here is a classic. Is a classic for me. Is The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. Is the first book in the Kane Chronicles. And the difference between this one and Percy Jackson is that Percy Jackson follows Percy and the Greek gods, and these are the Egyptian gods. And fun fact about me, I love Egyptian culture, Egyptian gods, and I'm so sure. I love that. So I always wanted to read this one, and I am finally doing it, and I'm quite enjoying it. I will say it's a kid's book, but I am having a blast. After all of my failures, this is feeling so good. It's quite a long book because it is a long book, and I just saw on my Audible, I have 9 hours left. That is a lot. 9 hours. That is a lot. So I'm quite excited about this one. And I think I will finish it in a week because I do really like it. So that is a win for me. At last. And I am reading one book physically. And it's this one. It's by China Mieville. And it's The City and the City. And I will do a brief introduction. I discovered China Mieville because my favorite YouTuber and booktuber recommend his books. She didn't read this one, but she was trying to read all his books. So what I know of him is that he writes weird fiction. That is what I know of him. That he seems quite strange. He writes science fiction. So his books are quite the same, are not the same, but similar to Vandermeer. And I do like Vandermeer. So I was very excited to read him. But I was afraid of that because I don't know how weird it will be. So I thought that this would be a good introduction to him first, because I wanted to read what he was about, to get his vibe, to just to see the waters, for the first time. And I think this is a good introduction to him, because this is a detective novel. And I read that he wrote this book to his mom when he was dying of cancer, and because his mom loves a detective and novels. And I think that because of that, this is a good introduction of who he is as a writer, because he's not trying to prove anything. He wrote this for his mom, and that is enough. So I think this is a good introduction just to hear his voice, to hear his voice. And this is a detective novel that is set in 2 fictional cities in Europe, because he is a British author. So this book is set in 2 imaginary cities. That this is the weirdest part for me. These cities share some territories between them, but they pretend they don't see each other, and they pretend they don't interact, but they cannot interact with each other because it will be a breach, and being in a breach, it's very bad. It's very bad. It's like, no, you cannot do that because you are going to explode. You cannot do that. So that was the hardest part for me to get grasp of what he was about. But I am quite enjoying it, because we begin this story knowing that the detective is put in a case where there is this woman that was abandoned. She was killed and abandoned on a lot in a place. And he was the one to discover her, to put her to, like, I don't know, he was in charge of the investigation. And his character is a bit of a cliche, because he's that kind of detective that we go to lengths to get people justice, to treat their victims with the most respect, where you expect the police to be. So he is that, and I don't want to give you a spoiler. I don't mind spoiler, but I know people will mind the spoiler. So the crime will make the 2 cities interact, which is no good. So that is one of the things happening here. And there is also lore in between the 2 cities that it is quite interesting plot that he has going on this one. Also, I found super weird, super strange. Like, the characters, they don't speak in English, but the book is in English, and they would sometimes say things like, when you go to the city, you say these things, but in English would be this thing. And I think that is quite strange, because I am reading in English, mate. I don't see any language going on. But it is also one of the things that it says here. I don't know. I find it to be quite strange. But I do like it. And when people die and you don't know the names, I know in the States you use Jane Doe. I don't know the correct term in the States, but here they put the fulana, a fulana. And in Spanish, that is what you call random woman you don't know the name, a fulana, la fulana esa. And I found that quite I found that quite funny, because it was funny. She is a fulana. You don't know the name. So she is a fulana. I quite like that about that. So I do like it. So I will, after I finish this one and then finish some books on my TBR, I will be excited to read his most famous novel, because I will know that he's trying to prove something on that one. So I will want to read that one after this one. So yeah, that is The City and the City by Shanna Mieville. And I will do a better review of it when I finish it. Because I only halfway through it. So when I finish it will be better. But so far I liked it. And the book that put thoughts in my mind about audiobooks and reading physically. Because I read this physically thinking I was going to be so strange I won't get any of it. But now I am like this far and I just want to listen to it because I cannot stop. So the book that made me realize that kind of feelings is this one. It's Telephone by Percival Everett. This is also my first book by this author, also recommended by the same girl that I trust with my books. Everything she reads, I will read, except she likes James, what is his name? That the author that writes A Brief History of the Seven Killings, he is too crude for me. I don't like it. But anyways, this book is about a geologist / paleobiologist, has the trappings of a comfortable life, yet he is not contented. He is an expert in the geological history of a cave in the Grand Canyon, but less so where his wife and daughter are concerned. So, in Telephone, a deeply affecting novel of love, a loss, grief, and renewal, Percival outdoes even himself. So, as you can see, it's a story about grief. And how a man that doesn't know how to process those feelings of grief and lost, and how his daughter is dying basically, and he doesn't know how to process that kind of thing. And I also began reading quite a bit of listen to it, and so far I liked it. I like what I heard. And I stopped because I thought that maybe this was going to be a good book to read physically, because I want to absorb the most I can of this book. But I came to a realization that doesn't matter in the long run. I could take notes. If I heard something I like, I could just write it down so it doesn't leave my mind, because I have read tons and tons and tons. For example, I read this one. I listened to it. This is Almond by Won Pyong-sun. It's one of my favorite books. I didn't read them physically. I listened to it, and I remember most of the things that happened here because I wrote the things that I liked. I wrote them down. So that is what I'm going to do. I am going to listen to the books that I want to read and just write my thoughts down as they happen, because that was my only problem. That was listening to them, but then I could not remember what happened in them, because I don't have a super memory. So I just need to write things down. Because also I listened to most of my Shirley Jackson books, and I remember them, and I love Shirley Jackson. She is one of my favorite writers. So that was my problem, and it's a problem that I won't have anymore, because I am preparing myself to do that, because I want to read more. Okay, let me put that thing on. And the thing is that I just have to read. And I just have to listen to them and write. That is all. No, you don't. It's as simple as it is. So, yeah, those were the books. I would show you what I plan to read on May. Normally, I don't do TBRs because I found it like, I don't know, sometimes I don't like them and I change it. But now, I will do 3 books that I want to read this month, besides the ones that I'm ready on. So, I want to read... Okay, first one, I want to read my last Emily Henry book. This will be the last one. I don't want to know any more about her. This will be the last one. This is Happy Place by Emily Henry. And also I will read the second one by the Throne of Fire, the second book in the King Chronicles by Rick Riordan. Also, okay, these are two books here that are supposed to be fast for me. The first one is Los Clandestinos by César Augusto Canadeo. It's a Spanish book for my country. It's short. I don't know what it is about. I just bought it a long time ago, as you can see of the color of it. So I am very excited to read this one. I hope it is good. The blurb in the back is made by one of my professors from uni, and he died. But that made me very happy for some reason that he is on the back, not that he died. Okay, and the last one is one that I wanted to read for so long. When I went to London, I went to two bookstores first, and I looked this book specifically. I went and looked for this one. I didn't find it in the first one, and then I looked at the second one, and I also didn't find it. And I was thinking, that is strange. What do you mean you don't have this one? So I went to the cashier, and then I asked him where I can find this book. And he told me that other store that had that book in stock, but they only have one. So I made my friend take the long way home to that one because it was far away. So I made her take, we did go, and I went straight to that book and I got it so fast. And it's this one. This is The Bastard of Istanbul by Elif Shafak. I don't know what it is about this book that I wanted to read so bad, but I am very excited for it. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so as I was saying, I haunted this book. I don't know. I looked for this book for so long, and I finally got it. And I don't know. I think if I don't like it, it will be destroyed, because I will be. I don't know. It was going to be bad. It's going to be really bad because I searched for this for so long. I expect too much of it, maybe, but I'm very excited for this one. I cannot even lie to you, and it's not my favorite cover, but it's really pretty. I quite like it. The front, the back, this part especially, I quite like it. So yeah, I am very excited for it. I hope I enjoy it. I really hope. So yeah, those are the books that I plan to read on March, and my failure books from April. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Tell me what was the worst book you read in April, and what are your predictions for May. So I will see you guys later. Bye.